Hey folks, Bill Gallagher here for round 4 of Daily D&T this week with the Bugler taxes list. If you're enjoying these, please consider supporting Daily D&T. And this one is going to be an easy mulligan. I'm going to keep this one and throw away my redundant Thalia. I think in the past my opponent has played Red Prison. It's not what it is today. I'm going to take this opportunity to junk that. And we'll start the game over. I don't like... Alright. Wasteland off the top for symmetry? No, okay. I really like that draw. It lets me do something with this Ancient Tomb mana this turn. I'm going to take a buttload of damage off this Ancient Tomb this game. It's probably not going to matter if my opponent is on Miracles, but if they just like tap out for a quick Mentor, it is trouble. Speaking of a quick Mentor, in terms of making my mana curve work out, if I play Mentor this turn and it sticks around, the next turn I can play Thalia and draw a card off of it. So I may just want to do that rather than just play my Thalia. We should also start taking bets on how much damage I take off the Ancient Tomb this game. We'll set the over-under line at 10. We're at 4 so far. My bet is over. So, note, this is whenever it enters the battlefield, not when cast. So I don't think it was necessarily correct to Swords to Plowshares there. Like, that could have waited until this Thalia was on the stack, and then you would have had the flexibility of removing the Thalia or the Mentor and let me draw a card instead. You know, it obviously depends on what you value more. But I think that trigger was pulled too early. So many Thalias. We will not be going for an equip here. I don't want to give my opponent that much tempo. I'd much rather them like remove my Thalia mid-combat, and then I get to just play a new one. 4 mana? Fencer? Oh, Snapcaster Swords. Okay, sure. You fool. You've given me more life. Now I can keep tapping this Ancient Tomb forever, basically. Really need another white source so that we can like start double spelling or spell plus equip in a turn. Otherwise, we're just going to get overrun by my opponent playing some card like Counterbalance, Jace the Mind Sculptor, you know, Gideon, whatever. Mentor. But I feel real good if we can double spell. Nope. Are we past the point of trying to choke my opponent on mana? Like, should I just be playing for mana efficiency? I would much rather like Thalia and Stoneforge in a single turn. This also stops a Snapcaster Mage from attacking. Yeah, I'm going to go with this one. Also, why aren't there Cavernous Souls in this list? Real questions. There's so many humans in this list. Pal's Jailer. Get in here. I don't even think we would play that as our first card if we drew a white source. I think we'd go like Thalia and Charming Prince instead. I should have set the over-under higher. Yeah, hey man, if you're using Swords of Plowshares on that, I'm so happy. That's actually fine. It still lets me double spell in a turn, which is what I care about here. It also might be good enough to force a will. Note I can't do it in the other order due to the Thalia tax, and I don't think playing any of the other of these is better than Thalia this turn. Alright. So I guess there's a world where my opponent is going to try to lock us out with that cryptic command, like cryptic command bounce Mystic Sanctuary. So it would be like Snapcaster Mage. No, it'd be like Snapcaster Mage, cryptic command. Alright, so Snapcaster Mage. No, they cannot cryptic command right now due to the Thalia tax. That is safe. That doesn't mean they don't have like Force of Will or something like that. Or another cryptic command for that matter. So we've gained the opportunity to double spell. So I guess the question becomes, do we actually want to double spell? Or do I just want to cast Sanctum Prelate? Alright, so my opponent has a crap ton of cryptic commands. So now my opponent can Snapcaster Cryptic Command and bounce Mystic Sanctuary. This is slightly problematic. So my opponent knows that I have the Jailer, and they've just tapped out there for that. So I know that they have Snapcaster Swords to Plowshares. So if I just go for Jailer, it does not work out for me. So what I need to do instead is cast Thalia. This will prevent my opponent from just going Snapcaster Swords, one of my things, this turn. Then I can resolve a Stoneforge Mystic. You don't have the mana for that. You just played a bear. So we'll get my last piece of equipment. Yep, opponent goes, oops. Yeah. Thalia forever. Okay, my opponent has one card. What am I doing with my life? I could just try to ram the jailer down my opponent's throat. I could try to go Jitte equip, kill the mentor. My opponent says, one of those things where you had a plan, then when your brain actually had to execute it, it went horribly wrong. Yep, totally get it. Totally get that as a streamer. All right. So I think we're going to go for an equip on the Thalia. Oh, wow. Okay, so they didn't have another spell. So, like, we just kill the mentor, take over this game, have Batter Skull that we get to flop in. Awesome. I don't know that we deserve that one. I don't know that we deserve that one. All right. So normally I don't board Rest in Peace versus Miracles, but my opponent is on AK Miracles with a weird cryptic command lock, so I think this is actually going to be pretty important. So important that I might even consider boarding in Fairy, and that is real weird to say. Probably want these, definitely want this, definitely want this, definitely want these, may consider this just as a legendary creature. Actually, Remorseful Cleric is probably good enough since that's like a body as well. I will probably end up cutting at least one of my pieces of equipment and trimming a Stoneforge with this list. I don't think I'm going to play around Mentor for this game. I don't actually know how many Mentors my opponent has. My guess is they don't have a ton because they're trying to just be like a lockout prison deck instead. So I'll probably cut those. I'll probably cut my Givers. And then I'll have to make a few actual decisions. I'll probably trim a Caracas since I'm playing 3 and just go a touch lighter on land. Sort by converted mana cost here. So since I have Militia Bugler to consider, I want to keep my creature count high. So I kind of prefer to cut something like Jitte or Batterskull over something else. So I kind of like doing something like this, and I keep most of my endgame engine intact here. Having 3 copies of Sanctum Prelate is going to be really strong, too. I did just board in that Telmic as a legendary creature for Caracas reasons. I am not impressed by my hand. That being said, I don't think this is bad enough to throw back. Since my opponent is playing these Mystic Sanctuaries that can be wastelanded, my wastelands aren't just, like, dead in my opening hand. I'm also going to lead on Plains over Caracas because we do have to keep something like Back to Basics in mind. I don't know that my opponent is going to be running that, but, you know, it's something to be aware of. Alright, I think I just want to scry, honestly. I think scrying is probably better than porting. We have a bunch of Haymaker cards that we can find. You know, the Sanctum Prelates, the Palace Jailers, the Rest in Peace, things of that nature. So just, like, smoothing things out is probably pretty strong. I will bottom both of those. We already have our third... Sorry, we have our third land / 4th white source. That's... You know what I mean. We have mana. We don't need more right now. I am a little afraid of a Mentor here, which it looks like that's what this is going to be. Teferi. Do you want to bounce my Charming Prince? That's value for me. So this is not what I was planning on doing this turn. But this is pretty strong. They were forced to get a non-basic white source last turn, which probably means that they don't have access to a basic plains. And this only, ooh, never mind. And this only pluses up to 2. So let's see if we can kill it. Alright, Swords to Plowshare it. That's fine. I can bounce it. It's -3 that I care about. So plussing will just let them like ponder at instant speed. I don't care about that. It will, however, mean that I can't kill it in a single attack. So there's some merit in just revoking this here. But I think I just want to muck with their mana. Maybe that's not true. Maybe just like the possibility of Revoker attacking in, killing this the following turn is better. This is a real close decision. I'm going to Revoke. If I can keep this Thalia alive and continue to bounce it. That's very strong. If I like trade this for a Snapcaster Mage or something like that in combat, that's totally fine. So Mystic Sanctuary only triggers if the opponent has 3 or more. Or sorry. No, it is a May effect and they just chose not to, I see. Oh no, it is when it is untapped. Okay, alright. That's what was going on there. I was like, why didn't it trigger on Moto? Alright, so let's see if we trade for Snapcaster Mage. We do. Since I have Tomic as a legendary creature, I think I'm okay with doing this. It's possible that just like jamming the Sanctum Prelate on 1 is better, like letting this go up to a higher degree of loyalty. Son of a gun. How do I want to do this turn? I don't think I want to play Tomic with shields down. We're just going to go ahead and put that on 1. And I think we'll put out Remorseful Cleric. We may just see my opponent just bounce my Prelate. What the... That is rough. That is real rough. So I'm actually going to think about this for a second. I think I need to play both of my creatures this turn. I will absolutely take both of those. I'll draw the needle first, I think. Because if I don't draw the needle first, then I can't draw both in the same turn. Or sorry, then I can't draw both. Period. End of statement. Okay. Don't really know why that needs to happen right now. That's a 2/2. You could have waited for more information. Well, that was the literal worst thing that could have happened. At least we have Pithing Needle on the top of the library, so like we can shut off the Jace, play Tomic to pressure Teferi, and maybe get ourselves out of this. We're going to play Tomic first, see if that gets Force of Willed, because we cannot let the Jace go unchecked. Don't have it again. If our opponent doesn't remove Tomic this turn, we get to kill Teferi, and then we're in a pretty good position. Because we have the Stoneforge on top. Our opponent can blank the Tomic attack, then we have to start worrying about Tomic bouncing the needle and them getting a Jace activation or two. Please? It's gonna be like Cryptic Command, bounce my Tomic or something. So Mystic Sanctuary can put... Oh no, it's gonna put Swords of Plowshares on top, sure. Oh, that's cute. %, taking Sword of Fire and Ice. We have multiple blue planeswalkers on the battlefield that we potentially need to worry about a little bit later. At least they didn't have another Terminus. Alright, my opponent had it all here. Well. Well, well, well. We will be left with the worse board. However, like, we get rid of a ton of their lands and 2 of their planeswalkers, and we make it so future Jaces are not an issue. I'm in for this exactly right now. They are hellbent. There is nothing that they can do about it. It cometh. Despite how good Caracas is, we are just going to keep a basic plains because we have 2... No, we have 1 more Caracas left in the deck to draw towards, and in this position, I really do not want to find the other Caracas and not be able to make that land drop. I sort of wish we had 1 more mana so we could cheat the Sword of Fire and Ice into play. I also don't know if you're supposed to fetch Snow-Covered Island, or if you have to just, like, keep the flexibility of being able to Tundra. I don't know what their situation is like. I was doing a quick check to see how many basic planes were in the graveyard already. We have Jace already taken care of via Pithing Needle, so this seems like a fine name. Note, we will not remove the Snapcaster Mage just by attacking Revoker into it. We have this, which is going to potentially invalidate it. Alright, Narset would have been another good name. I don't think I'll Council's Judgment a Snapcaster Mage. We have better things to do with, like, just about any card that we draw. Oh, geez. Tough choice, tough choice. Like, Bugler to just continue the value chain is strong. So is just, like, Sanctum Prelate shutting them off of 1s, though. Now I think I'm okay with making this trade if my opponent wants to make it. Like, they've shown me that A, they don't have the white source, B, I have an answer to Teferi, like, C, Sanctum Prelate coming down is also a disaster. And we take this one. That was a fun round, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back tomorrow for, I think that's round 5 of this league. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, consider supporting Daily D&T.